So this episode starts off from the end of the previous with the Ghost Devil choking Aki. After Sawatari using the Snake Devil had killed it, quote unquote, a couple episodes back, I guess because of the Snake Devil's ability, it's able to swallow a devil or something and then use it as a later time, because apparently that's what she did at the end of the previous episode. But coming into this one, I guess Aki kind of goes unconscious or blacks out or something, and he starts remembering the moment that he had with Himeno when she offered him a cigarette. And then after that, he eventually comes back to reality, and it turns out that the Ghost Devil isn't choking him anymore, and it's kind of just letting him live. Then it suddenly presents him with Himeno's last cigarette. So I think that this sequence is up for interpretation, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can see this. So one of them is that since Aki was remembering a good memory of Himeno, maybe he no longer was feeling fear in that moment, and then that's why the Ghost Devil let him go. Because at the end of this sequence, Aki says that Himeno told him that the Ghost Devil doesn't have eyes, so it sees through fear. And since he wasn't feeling fear anymore, maybe it was just kind of chill and just let him go. Maybe another option is that the Ghost Devil likes Aki because Himeno liked Aki. Maybe, and I don't know, not all devils are created equal, obviously. Maybe this one has a soft spot for Aki because of this special situation. Or another option is that because Himeno gave her entire self to the Ghost Devil, to save Aki against Katana Man, maybe it's infused inside of it, and that was the piece of her presenting the cigarette to Aki. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, it eventually just lets Aki cut its head off. And as Aki is walking towards Sawatari, she tries to summon the Snake Devil. Instantly, Kobeni is behind her with the knife at her neck, and Aki's like, no, don't kill her. So this is awesome, continuing Kobeni's redemption arc. So then we come to Power and Denji in an elevator, and once the door opens, we see that there's a whole bunch of zombies there. Not really sure how that works because it seems like they all died in the first episode, but it doesn't matter. He still has them, and Power rushes out of the elevator and starts hacking away at them, thinking that Denji is behind her and she's impressing him, but Denji actually just stays behind on the elevator and she's just there by herself. This is a hilarious sequence. I love it so much. Then Denji comes to the next floor and he finds Katana Man there. And at first, Katana Man is saying that he's going to turn himself in as long as Denji atones for killing his grandfather. I don't know. He's acting really weird in this sequence. And they just wind up transforming and they start to fight. And this fight is amazing. They're going through buildings, fighting on rooftops, going through the city. One of the better sequences of this season so far, for sure. And then they eventually wind up inside of a train and they start fighting in there as well. And Katana Man starts spamming his blitzing strike attack thing that he did to Denji and Aki a couple episodes back. And he does it enough to take off Denji's arms. And Denji's like, can we ban that move already? Because, like I said, he also did this before and instantly killed Denji with it. So Denji's like, I'm not done yet. I still have the chainsaw on my head. And they square off for one last time to have one final clash. And they go through each other and it seems like Katana Man won because Denji's head chainsaw breaks. But it turns out that Denji actually extended a chainsaw from his leg. Because if we go back to when they did strike, you see that Denji is leading with his foot. And he says, I mentioned the head on purpose so that you would focus on it, and that's what he did. Katana Man focused on the chainsaw on Denji's head. He wasn't really paying attention to the one that was coming out of his leg because he had never really done it before. I'm pretty sure this is the first time that Denji uses a leg chainsaw in this series. So yeah, got him with the element of surprise and literally cuts him in half in an awesome violent sequence. So then afterwards, he has Katana Man chained up in his human form, and he confirms that yeah, he's pretty much immortal the way that Denji is. I guess all of the hybrids, humans who have the devil hearts in them, all pretty much have the same dynamic. If you use their activation trigger, Denji pulling the ripcord from the chest, Katana Man unsheathing his hand, then you'll basically resurrect them if they're dead or dismembered or something. So then Denji's thinking arresting you isn't enough. You killed Himeno, you gotta pay. So then Aki walks up and Denji's like, hey, let's play a game. Whoever can make this guy scream the loudest from nut shots wins. And then Aki thinks it over. He's like, should I do this? Should I not? And then he looks at Himeno's final cigarette. He's like, all right, what do I get if I win? And then they just go on to repeatedly kick Katana Man in the jewels. And this sequence is just amazing. I love this so much. When I originally read it in the manga, I remember specifically thinking wow, I wonder if they're going to be able to make this sequence deliver in the anime. And they did. What a unique ending for a villain fight. This is obviously typically doesn't happen happen in these battle mangas or battle animes. Like, I just really especially like this one. But then we cut to Makima talking to the higher-ups from the public safety, and they go over some information that we already knew, such as like Sawatari had a contract with the Gun Devil in order to spread guns to like the Yakuza and whatnot, and she was also told to recover the Chainsaw Devil's heart in exchange. But we're also finding out something we didn't know before, and it's that Sawatari was actually a public safety agent in the private sector. So that definitely makes sense. I mean, she's young, the way that a typical public safety agent would be, and she also kind of has like that cold demeanor. And then, finally she has a contract with the Snake Devil. But I just like the way that Fujimoto did this. Like, it definitely makes sense that she was former public safety. And also another thing is that apparently the Gun Devil also gave her the Katana Devil's heart, because, back when Katana Man is facing off against Denji outside of the elevator, he says like, Sawatari really did a number on me. They put the Katana Devil's heart in me. So yeah, that explains how he got it, but also doesn't explain how the Gun Devil got the heart of the Katana Devil. I guess that doesn't matter. But then the higher ups ask Makima, like, why is the Gun Devil interested in the Chainsaw Devil's heart, aka Pochita, who's inside of Denji right now? And she's like, before Sawatari was able to answer, the Snake Devil literally eats her head off. And this wasn't so much of her like willingly taking herself out. Makima says that it's probably triggered automatically by the terms of her contract with the Gun Devil. And yeah, that's very likely what had happened, which is actually pretty cool. Like if you get caught or if you're put in a compromised position where you can give away information, then, the Snake Devil just kills you. And then at the end of this conversation, we find out that they have enough Gun Devil flesh now, which they got from the hotel, from like where Sawatari was, to make a big enough piece that will finally attract to him, because that's like the whole dynamic with the Gun Devil's flesh. Like, the pieces stick to each other, and if you're able to make a piece big enough, then it will eventually attract to the Gun Devil itself. So now they can start doing that. One of the aspects that we're going to be going into in season 2. And then in the final 2 sequences of this episode, we see Denji like in this dream sequence once again, as a child walking towards a door. And this is actually how the first episode of season 1 opened up. And once again, Pochita like telling him not to open the door. And I really don't think that we're going to get any advancements on this part of the story until like season 3, I think. So yeah, don't hold your breath. And then in the final sequence of the episode, we see this girl talking to Denji, asking him if he'd rather be like a country or a city mouse. And this is just a teaser for season 2. Like, this girl is going to be prevalent in season 2. So yeah, I guess look out for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for season 1 of Chainsaw Man. I want to thank everyone who decided to watch my Chainsaw reviews. I kind of took a risk covering this on the channel, but it seemed to work out because, enough of you came back every week to experience this series with me. So again, thank you so much. And I don't know when season 2 is coming, maybe in 2 years or something. But at this point, I'm going to be transitioning into the manga, which is like, I don't know, 90 chapters or so ahead of where season 1 ends off. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. If you liked the video, guys, please give it a like, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.